Okay, so now I'll demo some of my sounds on my rig here. On the FC300, the first patch that I've created, and I keep it in patch mode here, is just a basic clean. And my basic clean is the clean channel on the matchless, a lot of compressor, so the RJM is activated and it's allowing my compressor through, and some just a little bit of delay. So you can hear that, and it's a dotted eighth note delay, which I can tap tempo with one of my control pedals here. On my whole rig, I always write the second control pedal to be a tap tempo. And now I can add, amounts of delay that I want, or subtract. So here's no delay, and I've done that with my first expression pedal here on the FC300. I can gradually add a little bit more until I'm right into. The edge kind of land. And the other thing that I've done that's kind of cool on this, on the FC300 is I've written my EP booster to be my first control pedal. It's pretty much right across the board on all my patches, so anytime I want to boost, if I want to go to a lead, I just click on that, and it adds a little bit of gain to the mix. The second patch that I've created is using the second channel of the matchless, so it's almost the exact same thing that I've done with the first patch there, but it's now sort of more of a crunchy sound. So again, I still have the same thing with the EP booster and with the delay and all that kind of stuff. So kind of a cool thing. And one other thing that I sort of experimented with, I wanted to start involving the mod pedal a little bit. So I've basically included in the second expression pedal, I can turn on my mod and add LFO sound. Not quite a wah pedal, just something kind of a little weirder. Again, like an old synth keyboard from the 70s. And by the way, I should mention that throughout all of the things I do, I also have my volume pedal, which is always in play, and my Gig Effects wah pedal, which can just go on and off if I, hit it. My third channel here is my big crunch, my big lead, and on the matchless that means channel 3, so I've just got the gain cranked up a little bit more. The matchless is pretty cool. You can get more of like a sort of distorted Vox tone, or you can kind of adjust the bass and the treble and get more of a mess up. So it's a really kind of versatile amp that way. I like more of a mid-range kind of honky distortion sound, so that's what I've got going there. And again, the EP booster and the tap tempo delay. Added to this patch is similar to the LFO thing that I did with the crunch. I've added a chorus to the second, and so the amount of chorus is adjusted by that expression pedal. So if I was doing, say, that Journey tune, raunchy 80s chorusy sound to it. The fourth channel is just a straight chorus that I've kind of written there. And the fifth channel is my talk box, which I don't have a mic set up for today, but basically the talk box is everything is getting shut off, like No compressor, no EP booster, no nothing, and it just feeds everything into the Banshee, which goes up through the tube and into the microphone. The next patch that I've written with this thing is kind of a cool, we do a couple tunes where I need a backwards guitar sound. So I've done that with the Time Factor. The Eventide Time Factor has kind of a cool backwards sound. So I've just taken my basic clean compressed sound and done that. And I can of course add the EP booster, make it a little bit louder, or I can add, you know, a little bit of the amount of backwardsness with the delay pedal there. The next thing I've done is just done a trem, and this is an 8th note triplet trem. That's my default. But I can also go to 16th notes with my expression pedal. Second expression pedal. And I can also, you know, muck around with different rhythms. Here's a quarter note. Here's a dotted 8th notes. Quarter note triplets, 8th notes. So that's all being controlled with this expression pedal. And again, EP booster or more delay. So I can add all of those things in. This is the same thing, but with a crunch. And I really like this sound because you can start getting into, especially when you add the wah to it, you can get into almost electronica types of sounds. So that's just using the wah as an envelope filter, so that's kind of cool. And then I have a phaser, and I can control the amount of phase that I'm adding to that to get more of Leslie's sound. And here's the same thing as a, but with a little bit of crunch. I can add or subtract. Adding delays to that or what have you, and wahs. So this has been a really cool kind of project for me, putting all this together, and it's also made me able to explore these Eventide pedals a little bit more, rather than what I used to have to do to get, you know, to the phaser. It was like bank up, you know, 6 banks or whatever to get down to the auto wah, to, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Now it's super simple, and I can just change all of my patches just with one sort of click. I don't have to do, you know, the famous tap dance anymore and to get different sounds. So yeah, that's basically the rig. I'm going to be adding probably an Eventide space pedal over on this side, and just cleaning up all the cables so things are a little nicer and a little easier, so I can fit more stuff onto here. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell.